2 elections coming up, provincial, municipal. You elect people who represent your needs and your values.
I believe it is time to fact check what these authoritarian politicians told us 20 months ago.
And I believe that they will give us our freedom back, but we must be sure to remember what they did to us.
Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship.
Lincoln J for Rebel News, and this past Saturday I had the chance to attend the Worldwide Rally for Freedom, where thousands of people from across the GTA came together to protest the COVID mandates that we are seeing all across the country. It was an exciting day, probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest protest that we've seen in Toronto since the pandemic has started. I had the chance to catch up with Maxime Bernier while I was there. Check it out.
The double vax, they know what's up. Now is your time to convince them to say, look, you did your part like they asked you to. You did your 2 shots. No more. Right?
We are winning that battle because truth will always win.
First of all, I'm very happy and very pleased to be here. Look at the crowd. You know, we are not alone, and a lot of people now across the country realize that enough is enough. More people are coming and are saying to these authoritarian governments, they must stop their draconian measures. And, you know, it's happening in other countries. It's happening in UK right now, and it will happen in Canada. We will win that battle, and we will regain our freedoms. I'm pretty optimistic.
So we see the UK dropping, pretty much scrapping all mandates. Do you think there's going to be a sort of domino effect?
Yeah, I believe so. And don't forget, you know, in Quebec, we'll have a provincial election this fall. In Ontario, you will have a provincial election this spring. And I believe that these despots don't want to be in an election with lockdowns and curfew and social distancing. And I believe that they will give us our freedom back, but we must be sure to remember what they did to us. But I believe that the population in Ontario will vote for a political party that will bring Ontarians back to the normal life that we had before COVID-19. You know, they pushed the vaccination and everything, and now when you have 85% of the population in Canada that is vaccinated, I believe that it's enough. You know, people must be free to decide if they want the vaccine or not, and we must reopen. You know, they imposed a vaccine passport, and they said, you know, these people will have the right to go to a restaurant showing them vaccine passport, but they closed the restaurants. So there's no logic anywhere, and more people understand that they lied to us since the beginning of this crisis, and I believe the end will come. And if Ford or Legault in Quebec want to be elected, they will have to give back our freedom before the election.
I've been covering these protests here for the past year in Toronto, by far the largest crowd I've seen, and I think a lot of that has to do with people who got 2 shots thinking that they were going to get their freedoms back. You know, politicians promised them their freedoms, and now they're just kind of confused, you know, lost. And I think they're looking for answers, and that's why we're seeing these crowds get bigger and bigger, and more people are waking up.
Yeah, you have a point there. You know, in Quebec, they were saying you have 2 shots, and that will be okay. You'll have a vaccine passport, and your vaccine passport will be valid. But now they're saying, you know, 2 shots, it won't work. Your vaccine passport will have a due date, and it will be now because you need to have a third shot. So there's no ending in that. And I believe that the population is tired about it. So everything must stop. And, I'm not against the vaccine. I'm for freedom of choice. And now look at the crowd here. More and more people are coming, like you said. I will be in Ottawa next Saturday with the truckers. What Trudeau is doing right now, these truckers were essential workers during the beginning of the pandemic. And now he's saying that these truckers cannot cross the border if they don't have the double vax. They're not putting anybody in danger. They're alone in their truck. They're not putting anybody in danger. So, and that's hurting our economy. All that must stop. And there's no logic. But when they did that, more people understand the crisis of all that, and that's why we have more support. It's so ridiculous that people are saying, "Oh, what's happening?" and they're waking up.
If you disagree with these vaccine mandates that we are seeing all across the country, please go to our website at fightvaccinepassports.com. If you can, please make a donation to our legal fight against these unjust measures.